Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a truly special online event today. It's called Dance, the Sacred Geometry of the Rose. Move in patterns that unlock revelatory wisdom, inner alignment, and multidimensional awareness. My name is Stephen Dynam, the founder and president of the Shift Network. And one of the things that's been so true in our recent work at Shift is that awakening is about embodiment. It's about bringing the highest aspects of ourselves into full expression through our bodies and into our lives. And that's how we enjoy ourselves more, that we become reflections of the divine and ultimately help to catalyze positive changes in the world. So we're really blessed to have one of the global pioneers of sacred dance and movement and really mystical embodiment. Her name is Banafsheh Sayyad. She's a sacred dancer, choreographer, and founder of Dance of Oneness. She's taught for Shift quite a number of times, and we're really delighted that she has a brand new upcoming course called The Sacred Geometry of Dance that we'll share more about towards the end of the hour. And I really feel that this is such an important modality for us now in a time of a lot of outer chaos to really find that harmonized interior alignment that allows us to be pillars of strength, wisdom, and light in a time where it's much needed. So Banafsheh is really at the forefront, and we're blessed to have this time with her. So Banafsheh, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and hello to everyone.
Yes. Well, I know you wanted to begin with a little bit of just presencing this moment since you are Iranian by birth and live in the West, but this really is a precarious moment for the planet. And I know you're a champion of particularly feminine mystical realization and embodiment, and that's a lot of what's being sort of marginalized in many ways. So maybe just invite you to speak a little bit to why some of what we're going to be learning today is really important for this moment on the planet.
Yes, before I dive into answering your question, I want to really take this moment to acknowledge the gift of being able to gather like this, connect across distance through the internet. This access may seem ordinary, but it's not ordinary. The people of my homeland, Iran, have experienced prolonged and severe shutdowns, internet shutdowns, since the early parts of this year. And some have even been tortured and killed for the simple act of accessing tools like Starlink, using these access tools. And the freedom to communicate is not just one of the basic human rights that the people of Iran have been denied. They've been denied almost all of their basic human rights, living under a brutal regime, a dictatorship that has turned the entire country into a living prison. So as we connect, as we come together, let us not take this connection for granted or our basic human freedoms. And let us be aware of those who have been denied, who are living in situations where they're denied the freedom of expression, of movement and dance, and just the right to choose how to live. And may our time together really awaken in us a greater presence and strength and love to serve life more fully.
What a beautiful invocation, and yeah, very timely for this moment. And yes, to everything you shared. I'd love to situate a bit before we go into some of the specific teachings today, some of your journey as a mystic dancer, like what really brought you to this path, particularly growing up in Iran, where some of the how you express and show up in the world would not be permissible. Like what put you on this path?
Yes, so what I shared is very close to my heart, as an Iranian artist, dancer, and spiritual embodiment teacher. I know in my bones that movement is not just movement. The freedom to move, to speak, to express beauty, to dance, to connect with spirit through the body, these are not small things. These are sacred human freedoms that I have dedicated my life to honoring, to embodying, and to protecting. My own path is an intertwining of two streams, a love for dance and the longing to know the divine in an intimate, direct way. I pursued dance with fierce devotion, even though it wasn't supported by my family or my culture in the beginning. I knew I had to follow this calling, trusting something in me that knew and held dance as not just something that I loved, but as the language of my soul. You know, dance for me has never been only about performance. It's been a way to cultivate and develop the body as a vessel, refining sensitivity, presence, strength, and surrender. So something greater could move through me. I trained extensively, first self-taught, and then professionally. I received an MFA in dance, and I founded my dance company called Nama Ensemble. We toured my work internationally, a signature style of sacred dance that I pioneered that has since inspired many dancers and have them emulated across the world. At the heart, this form is movement not just as ornament, but as transmission. The body is a vessel for spirit, healing, and beauty.
Mm.
At the same time that I was pursuing dance, my quest to know the divine more intimately and to experience spirit not just as an idea, but as a felt reality. This quest took me into the Sufi path and divine feminine wisdom, Taoist teachings, and energy healing. I studied Chinese medicine, became an acupuncturist and herbalist, which opened me to this profound understanding of the body as a field of energy and wisdom and spirit, an understanding that guides me when I create movement that I dance and perform and also lead people into. So these streams converged over time, and dance became prayer, the body became a temple,
Mm.
and movement became a path of healing and revelation and communion with the divine. And this movement practice, this convergence, I began to call dance of oneness, which I describe as a divine feminine lineage and sacred dance modality for healing and transformation. It's also the foundation of my new book called Dance of Oneness, Embody Love and Luminosity to Transform Your Life, where I share practices and teachings and transmissions from this lifelong path. I teach through the body because I feel that spiritual awareness, living spiritually, is not just an upward ascent, it is also a descent. It is a return to the spirit inhabiting the body, and consciousness entering form, and love becoming action in the
Mm.
world.
Well, you speak about it in such poetic, sacred terms, and it's really clear like how much you walk this talk and dance this transmission into being. I want to ask about today's theme is sort of unique from what we've taught before around sacred geometry of the rose. And I know the rose has a very long history of a symbol for feminine spirituality and awakening. And maybe share a little bit about some of that, the lineage backstory of the rose and how then that results in a kind of a sacred geometry that we can embody in this way.
Yes, so the rose has been a timeless symbol of beauty and a kind of beauty that is both inner and outer, and a beauty that is shared. It is a symbol of the associated with the divine feminine in many different ways. It's also very central to Sufi teachings. You know, Sufi teachings liken the soul to a rose. And just like you can't force a rosebud to bloom because it needs the right conditions of of earth, fertile soil, light, water, air, and space, the soul also flowers when the body becomes a living garden. When the body becomes a living garden where there is nurture and nourishment, where it's rooted and it feels open and spacious and touched by the light of love. The rose is a spiraling pathway, right? It doesn't grow in a straight line. It unfolds through these concentric circles. So this spiral is also the spiral of our cosmos and the spiral that is found in all of nature and within us. So there's a beautiful mystery to the rose in its beauty and its shape. And of course, its fragrance, its beautiful perfume that represents the soul, I feel, the emanations from the soul.
Mm. I want to ask you about, since you have a background also with acupuncture and Chinese medicine, how this kind of spiraling form maps onto some of the other energy systems. So it sort of actually gives us clues into the deeper architecture of how our energy systems work.
Yeah, so the meridians, the pathways of energy in the body, they flow from the organs to the extremities. And you can imagine them, you can visualize them as spiraling energies that bring us into coherence and harmony when we become more aware, when we are living with more presence and truly coming in touch with how we're souls living through bodies in a sense, bringing the soul and the body into a unity where they're really one and not operating in duality. Also, the chakras that are rotating, their wheels of energy, they also, in the way that they operate in our body, function in our body, are spiraling pathways as well. I've heard this, and it really influences my teaching and my thinking that nature resolves conflict through the spiral.
Hmm.
That's why we have weather patterns that spiral. And if you notice in plants and flowers and trees and just about all the forms in nature are spiraling. That's how they come into form.
Hmm.
And that's how nature resolves conflict.
Hmm.
It's very fascinating.
Yeah, it makes sense for why this the spiraling energy is at the core of your dance of oneness, because the oneness is the synthesis out of the more conflictual energies. So it's beautiful.
Yes, and it's so fascinating because when you're spiraling, you're never at the same spot, right? You just go
Hmm.
deeper inward as well as outward. So the spiral is a pattern that brings you in and out. So what you cultivate within, hopefully harmonious shapes, as the spiral is harmonious, you radiate out what you're cultivating inside. So it's very fascinating.
How does this connect, since you've also been deep in the Sufi lineages as well, like with the Mevlevi order and sort of Rumi's lineage? How does this spiraling also connect with with their practices as well?
So the whirling practice that is central to Dance of Oneness is a spiraling practice because you think that you're just circling and it might seem that it's an external shape that you're constructing, but it's really a spiraling inward. And the more inward you go, the deeper this inner journey, the more your consciousness blends and the boundaries of you dissolve into the greater, and your consciousness blends with the greater.
Mm,
So it really is, like you said earlier, it really is a movement style or movement practice, movement meditation that brings us into oneness.
mm,
Literally, the act of it does that, let alone your own state and your own intention of unifying inner fragmentation and coming into a unity consciousness.
mm. Can you share a little more about how this kind of spiraling geometry also contributes to healing on a physical and emotional level as well?
So it contributes to healing because you go inward, you go deeply inside yourself. And because the shape is harmonious, the spiral is harmonious, it is bringing coherence to where we may feel discord or fragmentation. It is bringing healing in that it makes us whole. You know, healing is derived from the word whole. So the more you come into this wholeness, into this oneness within yourself, the more you're able to, through becoming more coherent, heal fragmentation, jaggedness, and discord. Discord being the source of most of our ailments. So it is bringing awareness to the places that we're also not whole, the places that, you know, have been tight or tired and hidden, waiting, bringing awareness to them, sort of turning on the light from the inside and becoming aware. So this awareness isn't just with the mind either. It is a visceral, experiential awareness, something that you really feel with the whole of yourself.
Mm, beautiful. Would you like to weave in a little bit of the spiritual work of working with the beloved, which is a little bit different than a lot of the paths that we've sort of, in the West or the East? It's sort of like this relationship with a more devotional, beloved relationship with the divine and our embodiment of the divine. How does that play out with dance?
Well, dance, especially sacred dance, is a very accessible way to connect with the divine as your beloved. So in the Sufi path, we refer to the divine as our beloved. We are invited to create a very intimate relationship with the beloved. And when I think of this intimacy, it is not just something that I think about. It's not just something that, let's say, I feel in my heart. It is something that we need to feel in every cell of our body. Rumi says, how else will I come to know the beloved unless I become a lover in every cell of my body?
Mm,
To my knowledge, I don't know any practice more accessible and more able to bring us into that state than sacred dance, which is very devotional, which is a form of surrendering and communing with the divine. Of course, that needs to be the intention, right? Because what makes dance sacred is in the intention. Why are you moving in this way? And if your intention is intimacy with the divine, coming into this relationship with the divine as your beloved, coming into this love relationship, where in the tradition it is said, the beloved says, take one step toward me and I'll take 10 steps toward you.
mm,
So coming into this relationship where the beloved that you love loves you 10 times more or longs for you 10 times more is so transformative and something that we can touch in dance if that is our intention.
mm. Well, I can just listen to you. It's like listening to Rumi in embodied speech form. You're so poetic in how you describe these things. But I know we want to spend some time really in the practice together. So I think now would be a great time for you to really guide us into this sacred space of spiraling geometry and rose beloved mysticism.
Given the confusion and uncertainty we are living through collectively, it is hard for the mind alone to know what is true or how to respond. We need a way to rise above the noise, receive higher guidance, and bring that guidance back into the body, into our choices, and into how we live. This is the pathway of sacred embodiment that we follow in Dance of Oneness, arising into expanded awareness, followed by a descent into lived presence. Sacred geometry helps us remember a deeper order. In a time when truth feels blurred by AI and fake narratives, these harmonious shapes remind us that there is such a thing as truth. A circle may appear in many sizes and colors, but its essence remains a circle. In the same way, when we embody sacred patterns, we remember something steady and true beneath the chaos. So as we enter the spiraling geometry of the rose, we're not only moving beautifully, we are creating an inner state of coherence. We are practicing how, in the face of challenge, to stay centered rather than become overwhelmed, be responsive rather than reactive. I invite you to join me in creating the conditions inside ourselves for the light of love to blossom like a rose and flower and shine through us. So please rise. But if you prefer to do this practice seated, you absolutely can. But if you're standing, please let your feet be as wide as your hips. Let your knees be soft and your hips relaxed. Please bring your hands onto your heart center, crossing them at your wrists. And take a deep breath in, please. Exhale through your nose and close your eyes. Sense the ground with your feet. Direct your energy down from your head into the rest of your body, creating an even distribution of energy in your body. Let's begin in reverence to love. What would it be like if you were a rose? What would that feel like? What color rose would you be? Imagine and sense your roots, the roots of your rose tree descend into the earth, into the fertile soil, into belonging and steadiness. And now take another deep breath in with me, and with your exhalation, open your eyes, bring your hands down by your sides. I'm going to invite you into one of the Dance of Oneness body waves, the first wave. I'll do this sideways so you can see the movement more clearly. I'm going to ask you to bring your hands to your low back with your knees soft but not too flexed. Go back as if you're going to sit in a chair, and now scoop your hips under and rise through your spine. With this movement, drawing the energy of the earth into your legs, into your hips, your belly. Travel up your central channel into your heart center, your throat, neck, inside your forehead and your crown, and out through your crown. Even if you can't feel the energy moving into all these parts that I mentioned, with your hands on your low back, make sure that you sense movement in your lower spine, in your lumbar region, where this wave needs to begin in our body. You're going to inhale as you draw the energy up, and exhale as you descend. Now bring your hands into it. Inhale, arms to the level of your shoulders, soft hands, soft arms. Sensing yourself rooted in the earth and open above, opening a channel between earth and sky through your body. Now open your arms, circle with your hands, creating this sacred shape. As you create this sacred shape, the circle, let it shape your energy within and around you. The circle is not just representative of wholeness, it actually can bring us into wholeness. It can unify inner fragmentation. Let it make your heart energy coherent within and what you transmit. As our heart energy emanates beyond our physical heart. Now, as you're moving in this wave, come in touch with 3 of the 5 conditions that help the rose of our soul, any rose, blossom. The fertile soil that holds you, breath, the air entering your breath, and this fluid shape bringing us in touch with how we're mostly water. This life-giving source moving through all our cells. And bring your hands back to this position of just rising to level of shoulders. Make sure this movement feels easeful for you and that it's not bringing any tension in any part of your body. Beautiful. And now gently, slowly bring your hands to your heart. I'm going to ask you to bring your heels down now, one at a time. Coming in touch with the first point of the kidney meridian in the soles of your feet, the gushing spring that helps release tension, excessive energy, and thereby brings us into a more vital, energized feeling. Bringing your heels down into peace, letting go of tension. And now pick up the tempo. As you bring your heels down into peace, also draw this energy of peace as vibration into your legs, into your hips. Let it travel up your torso. Sense the peace in your shoulders, arms, and hands, in your throat, neck, in your face, your whole head. And now bounce. Sense the back of your head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, buttocks, back of your legs. Give yourself a good shaking along your whole back. And now release the front of your body. Release worry, tension, sighs. Release anger, judgment of self, judgment of others. Open chains of powerlessness, smallness, unworthiness. And give it all to Spirit, give it all to the Beloved to be transformed into love. And now bring the transformed love into your body. Let it move down your central channel into the earth and step. Planting seeds of love and release. Release and create more space. So the 4th condition of the rose to blossom, creating space. Shake out your wrists, hands. From all that texting and typing, release. And bring your hands up. And now please close your eyes. We're now ready to receive the fifth condition for the rose to blossom, which is light. Take a deep breath in, please. And start to bring your hands down as you exhale and imagine beautiful golden light pouring down onto your body. Sense this light now enter through your crown, move down your central channel inside your forehead. As you flow with your breath, let the light enter into your throat, neck. And as your hands come down, the light fills your heart, your upper abdomen, lower belly, letting your knees be soft. Let the light move down into your hips and into the earth through your body, being receptive to the light and letting this light mix with the fertile soil, the air and the water in the earth, and begin to draw the first wave we did earlier up, drawing the harmonized elements into your body. You can take a peek if you need to be reminded of the movement, but try to keep your eyes closed so that you can really get into this inner journey, drawing the elements up into your body and letting the rose of light and love blossom from your heart. Your arms and hands like petals, your heart softening and the rose blossoming through your chest, your shoulders, arms and hands. Your whole body sensing the softness. And as you move, creating circles with your arms or just bringing your arms, hands to the level of your shoulders. Moving in the wave or however now you feel that the rose wants to express through you. Maybe you want to do some rotations to mimic the spiraling pattern of the rose. As the rose unfolds through spirals, layers, circular layers. Breathe in the light with each inhale. Maybe silently say love. With each exhale, say love. Letting every cell of your body become like a tiny sphere of light. We're not trying to become love. We're simply remembering that love is the very life force moving through us. Let the light of love fill your heart. Give love to your heart. And let this light now pour from your heart into your abdomen, traveling down your central channel, into your hips, your legs now, and feet. Also up into your shoulders, arms and hands, into your neck, throat, your face. Sending the light of love into all the parts of you that may feel tight or tired, hidden, waiting. moving in your own way, letting this rose blossom. You can absolutely stay with the wave or incorporate rotations with the wave. Bringing your awareness back to the rose of your heart and letting this light of your rose emanate out from your heart around your body. We are energetic beings and we influence the world around us. What we cultivate in our heart affects how we feel, how we relate, how we interact, and how we meet the world, and what we contribute into the world. The energy of our heart is electromagnetic and it extends beyond our physical heart. Now let the light of your heart, the rose of your soul opening in your heart, emanate around you into your room, to the people you love, and to the place in our world where this light is needed, places of suffering, places torn by violence, war, fear, and displacement. Iran, Ukraine, wherever it is needed. You don't need to force anything. You're simply letting what you've cultivated become an offering. As we come into greater coherence within ourselves, we radiate harmony. And as we open the rose of our soul, as we awaken and open the rose of our soul, we help seed a new world shaped by love, by peace and belonging. So beautifully, now bring gently your hearts, your hands back onto your heart. And bring your wave to a close and just feel. Bring your hands gently to your face and touch your face. The delicate softness. Feel your inner and outer beauty like a rose. Rumi shares a secret with us. He says, تو را بگویم پنهان که گل چرا خندد که گل رخیش به کف گیرد و بین بوید. Let me tell you a secret as to why the rose is laughing. It's because she's holding her essence, her roseness in her palms and smelling it in, breathing it in, filling herself with her own perfume. Bringing your hands back onto your heart. What is your essence, your ness, N-E-S-S, your unique gift, fragrance, resonance that you and only you can emit in this garden of life? Tend to it, nourish it, and stay with it as you honor it. Stay with it and let it guide you with all your tenderness and your strength, all your devotion and all your courage. So that it may show you how to open into a radiant flower, so we can each be a luminous flower in this garden of light, in this garden of life. as well as loving gardeners of this garden of life. So now, please return to sensing the ground with your feet, in touch with the rose of your soul in your heart, and your body as a temple. And remember this feeling, remember. Please take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, open your eyes and let the light of the rose of your soul emanate from your eyes. The rose of your soul that awakens through the heart.
Well, thank you, Banafsheh. That was just pure prayer in motion and such a deep current of devotion moving through you, your voice, your body, the prayer and the spirals. And really, that was beautiful, I think, for all of us. Is there anything you want to share just about the interior experience as it unfolds in a practice like that, or is it the dance tells the story?
Well, yeah, you know, when you start to come into more coherence inside, I feel like moving in this way makes us more peaceful, more coherent. And it's just natural to then want to radiate this coherence and peace into the world. And it's not something that we have to do, as I was sharing in the practice. It just happens. It
Mm.
just becomes an offering.
Mm. Do you want to share a bit more about the sacred geometry of what's happening and how that relates to consciousness and intention, just sort of a little bit of the weaving that's happening?
Absolutely. So consciousness, intention, and sacred geometry are very related. Consciousness is the awareness we bring. The sacred geometry gives this awareness a pathway, a pattern, a sacred architecture, if you will. And intention then, brings meaning. It focuses the energy and gives meaning to the movement. And when we bring these three together through the body, we begin to evolve. We begin to bring our fragmentation or discord, fears into balance. And we move toward coherence and toward a more peaceful state. This is very important right now, Stephen. As we all know, our world today is very chaotic. There's a lot of uncertainty and confusion. And many of us might feel powerless in the face of these many crises. But sacred geometry, embodying sacred geometry, offers us this way of bringing our fears and fragmentation, like I said, and discord and chaos into balance. And we start to become more coherent, and we start to feel more powerful. And we radiate that coherence into the world as an antidote to the chaos, to the fragmentation and the uncertainty. Because imagine how the chaotic shapes that we are currently experiencing as a collective. When we embody these coherent shapes, then we begin to bring a different kind of energy. We begin to, together, enough of us moving in this way, create coherence. So this is not just personal
Mm.
transformation. It's really about shaping and unfolding a new story that
Mm.
is more peaceful, a new story for our world that is grounded in peace and love and allowance.
Mm. It makes so much sense that this takes it beyond the idea or the concept into the embodiment that actually shifts the field around it, that you create little islands of coherence in this practice that then ripple out to the whole. So really beautiful, Banafsheh. I want to spend some time now explicitly talking about your upcoming course, which is a remarkable offering and perfectly timed to this moment and such a beautiful way to deepen this practice with you. So Banafsheh has agreed to teach a brand new program for Shift. It's called the Sacred Geometry of Dance. Move through the sacred patterns for revelatory wisdom, inner alignment, and spiritual awareness. You could find it at the URL sacredgeometryofdance.com, sacredgeometryofdance.com. This is a 7-week program. You don't have to have any background with dance or movement. This is really just about an inner call to create this coherence in yourself, to enjoy your body in a new way, to link flesh and spirit in a powerful way, and to really become like an emissary of a more coherent pattern in the world. So, Banafsheh, I'd love for you to share some of your intentions for what people will come away with, and then go through the modules and give a preview of what you're going to be teaching.
Yes, I love what you already have said. I would just open that up a little bit and say, you know, if you feel called to move into deeper states of harmony, radiance, and embodied spiritual power, then this course is for you, because you will learn, you will discover how through sacred dance you can enter into coherent patterns, living coherent patterns that can help bring your fragmentation, perhaps your inner discord, into wholeness, heal them, and unlock the wisdom your body holds, and radiate more love, allowance, and peace into the environment, into the world around you. Each week we will journey into a sacred geometric shape and discover the revelatory wisdom that the shape unlocks when we embody it,
Hmm.
which is for the evolution of the body and the soul.
Hmm. What a powerful design to this program, and I know it's going to be an amazing experience. So, Module 1 is called The Square Within the Circle. Experience your body as the place where the infinite takes shape.
Yeah, so in this module, we will ground into the temple of the body and experience form and infinity as one living reality through entering the sacred geometry of the square within the infinite shape of the circle, unlocking the revelatory wisdom of where does my soul belong and how does this belonging inform my purpose.
Hmm. Module 2, The Infinity Wave. Harmonize polarities and restore flow and coherence.
So in this module, we will enter the living current of the infinity symbol to harmonize inner polarities, masculine, feminine, yin, yang, soften rigidity, and restore the flow that allows coherence, creativity, and connection. In this module, we will unlock the revelatory wisdom of how navigating change and flux can actually evolve your nature, your infinite nature.
Module 3, The Sphere. Discover power beyond force.
So here we will awaken the power of moving from your center. Through the sphere, the shape of the sphere, you'll experience radiant will, inner authority, and confidence, which is rooted in alignment rather than force. And in this module, we will unlock the revelatory wisdom of what empowers me from within beyond the need for external approval.
Hmm. Module 4, Spiraling Diamond Sacred Geometry. Embody divine love through the architecture of expansion, devotion, and reciprocity.
So in this module, we will learn how to whirl and learn to whirl as the living embodiment of the spiraling diamond, where the descending grace and the ascending life force meet in the heart. And through this practice, we'll discover how love refines and opens and illuminates us through tenderness, devotion, and transformation. Embodying the spiraling diamond will unlock the revelatory wisdom of how does love open me to my infinite self when I give and receive without resistance, and ripple that opening into greater coherence and compassion.
Module 5, the chalice. Embody the shape of surrender to fully experience sacred transmission.
So we become in this module a vessel for the beloved through embodying the chalice, exploring surrender, sacred listening, and expression as an offering rather than a performance. And here we'll unlock the revelatory wisdom of what becomes possible when I surrender to the beloved and become a chalice for what wants to move through me.
Module 6, Vesica Pisces. Awaken inner vision and your capacity to meet distraction and reactivity with greater presence.
Here we'll enter the threshold where the seen and the unseen converge. Through the Vesica Pisces, this mandorla shape, you'll refine perception and quiet reactivity and awaken symbolic sight through the body. Here we will unlock the revelatory wisdom of what becomes clear when the seen and the unseen converge in me.
And finally, Module 7, the Taurus. Allow the living light of oneness to become the invisible architecture of a new world.
So here you'll experience body and soul and all of life as one continuous field of radiance. Through the Taurus, you'll embody unity, circulate coherence, and radiate harmony into the world around you. In this module, in this final module, we'll unlock the revelatory wisdom of what becomes possible when separation softens and life moves through me and around me as one continuous field.
Mm. What a uniquely beautiful and profound transmission this course is going to be. I mean, it's about a lived embodiment of the deeper structure of the universe into a mystical devotional current. I mean, it's so beautiful. And yeah, so what a beautiful offering you've created here, Banafsheh. So again, there's more detail at Sacred Geometry of Dance, and I'll share a little bit more about the structure, and then we'll talk about some of the bonuses. So if you choose to move forward with Banafsheh, you'll get those 7 90-minute live sessions that she just described, which are also going to have time to do practices together, which really creates a powerful field when done together. And then there'll be time for questions. You'll get recordings of every session, both video and audio, so you can reanimate these practices whenever you want, and also get word-for-word transcripts to work with, study, and highlight. Their weekly practices for home. There's a small group time to connect with other participants, as well as a community group forum to support you and deepen your experience. Now, on the page, Banafsheh has been very generous with bonuses as well to enhance your journey. There's a video teaching called Dance of Oneness, Soulful Stretching Routine, a mixed level practice. Anything you want to share about that?
Well, it's like a type of yoga, really, but more geared toward coming into oneness and experiencing your body really as a chalice of
Hmm.
your soul.
The second bonus is a PDF chapter from Banafsheh's new book called Dance of Oneness, and the chapter is Initiation, My Path to Dance and the Divine. Share more about that?
Yes, so this is really the opening chapter of the book that shares my story and how I came to dance and to experiencing dance and developing dance as a sacred practice of communion with the beloved. And in there, I also give kind of an overview of this form, this modality, dance of oneness, and what it brings us. So I feel it's important for people who will take this journey with me to also know about my story and how it can inspire people who've felt like they couldn't follow their passion because of family or the culture and the community around them. So to really be able to get inspired by my story of finding the courage to follow your passion.
Mm, beautiful. Then there's a third bonus. It's called Recitations of Hafez. This is a original Persian transmissions with English translations. Want to share more about that?
Yes, so this is an audio clip that I've created where I'm reciting the original Persian poetry of the great mystic poet Hafez. And I offer my translations. And this is very important to me because I know that there are many people in the West who are drawn to the work of Hafez, but really there haven't been much translations that are true to his word. I
Mm,
would call them more interpretations. So
mm,
I've tried to stay very close to what he is saying, which is always difficult in translation, but I've done my best to stay close to his original transmissions. And they're just astounding. When I share these translations with people who are drawn to Hafez, they just go into a spontaneous epiphany because it was not what they had heard before.
hmm. That sounds amazing. And then there's one final bonus, which is your special bonus if you sign up by midnight tonight Pacific time. This is a full video sacred dance session with Banafsheh called Cultivating Soft Power. Want to share more about today's special bonus?
Yes, so this is a course, this is a video course that I created recently, actually, and it is, journeying into what is soft power. We associate power with hardening and rigidity, and we haven't really been taught that softness can be powerful. And this is especially, feminine power. How can softness and tenderness and openness actually be power? That's what we explore in this video course that is over an hour of journeying into different movements and practices and dances that really bring this idea home to us.
Mm. Well, what a beautiful extra special reason to sign up right away, the Cultivating Soft Power video sacred dance session. So this is going to be a true sacred offering to you, and I'm sure you're going to be profoundly blessed if you choose to move forward. We've kept the investment very accessible as well. It's just three payments of $128 or save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start June 25th and run Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern. That even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. There's some great testimonials from previous participants in Banafsheh's courses, as well as some of the most eminent teachers in our space. Everybody loves Banafsheh's teaching and transmission and embodiment of this mystical current. And so you are in really blessed hands and you will be blessed if you choose to move forward, I'm quite sure. So again, it's all at sacredgeometryofdance.com and you'll get that special bonus if you sign up by midnight of Cultivating Soft Power. So, Banafsheh, what a wonderful time with you. Thank you for everything you've shared and everything you embody. So, anything that's still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering whether to do the course with you?
Thank you so much, Stephen. It's been wonderful talking with you as always. I want to say to everyone watching, listening, that if what you've heard and experienced today has inspired you and your heart longs to move beyond chaos and fragmentation into greater states of harmony, spiritual power, and love, then I invite you to join me. Through sacred dance, you'll embody the living patterns of sacred geometry, unlocking the revelations they carry and radiating coherence into your life, into your relationships, and into our world.
Mm, what a beautiful and beautiful invitation. Thank you, Banafsheh. Thank you all for joining as well, and look forward to seeing many of you in this remarkable new program, sacredgeometryofdance.com. And if you choose to move forward today, you'll get that special bonus of the Cultivating Soft Power video sacred dance session. So thank you so much. Many blessings.